Welcome, everybody, to this edition of Phil Talks Wrestling. I'm here with my good friend Sean, and today we are going to be predicting some match outcomes for WWE Payback 2016. And the card's looking really good, so let's get right into it with Kalisto versus Ryback.
Bounds.
So, Sean, I have you here for a reason. What do you think about Kalisto versus Ryback? Who do you think is going to win that match?
Well, it's a WrestleMania rematch that absolutely no one wanted. I think it's, I think it's gonna be Kalisto because let's face it, if they were gonna push Ryback now, they would actually have a storyline. They would actually have some sort of hype going into this match. They wouldn't put it on the pre-show, and plus nobody would really pop for a Ryback victory. And he's not even over enough as a heel for anything for that win to be justified. So I say Kalisto. Good face win to start the night.
Yeah, I'm also going to go ahead and say Kalisto. People like him. He's just kind of like that lovable luchador. Wow, that coined that copyright. No, I'm just kidding. He's a lovable luchador.
Don't give WWE any ideas.
So, yeah, I think he's going to win. He's a good United States champion as it is right now. There's also rumors that Ryback is leaving the company and is unhappy with his character, and that's the reason why he's leaving. So we're going to have to see how that pans out. But overall, it should be a decent kickoff match, nothing out of the ordinary. But we think Kalisto is going to take it. So going from there, we're going to lead into Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. My prediction is that Sami Zayn is going to win this because he needs the push. And I think it's going to be just a feel-good moment, and these two put on amazing matches since we know their history in indie promotions. And I honestly think it is going to be the match of the evening just because of how energetic and charismatic these two are and how they just play their roles so well. And I think it's going to be completely awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. I think you guys should too. But Sean, what do you think? Who do you think is going to take this?
I actually think this is gonna end in a no contest. As I know, I told you earlier, Phil, I thought it was gonna be Sami Zayn, but then I thought, why would they have the big babyface win, in what's going to be one of the best feuds of 2015, not just in WWE, but probably in all of professional wrestling.
Yeah, now that I'm looking at it, maybe a disqualification from.
Schmaz.
Yeah, like a disqualification, I think, from Kevin Owens would be in order too. Maybe he puts him through a table, the announce table or something, and you really just have this build, or have one of them get injured, and then they come back for SummerSlam, and they have a good SummerSlam match, and maybe put Kevin Owens over there. We can book that later, but I think it should be a feud that lasts at least until WrestleMania and on, because as WWE tweeted out a couple days ago, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are destined to fight forever, and I really hope that's the case because I would love to see that.
Yeah, I think the ending, you said, maybe Kevin Owens gets the DQ win. I think they're both gonna knock each other out doing the whole punch fight forever spot. I think we're gonna get the fight forever chant. We're gonna get a lot of "This is awesome" chant, and so. But yeah, both guys are gonna put on a hell of a match.
Yeah.
Match of the night by far.
Yeah. Either way, it's gonna be a great match. So we'll see what happens. But a DQ or a draw would even be good. Honestly, I'm taking anything. This story is just so good. There's just no way that you can book it wrong. Oh shit! I just put the curse on it. I'm so sorry. Anyway, we're gonna get into our next match here.
You fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. Now we're at, I think, probably one of the most unpredictable matches of the night here. We have Dean Ambrose versus Chris Jericho. I really want to say here, Sean, that Dean is going to go over, but you never know with WWE because we said that at WrestleMania with AJ Styles going over Chris Jericho. We're like, oh yeah, that'd be a great way to push AJ Styles. He beats a top heel in the company. It'd be great. But, WWE bent us over and said, here's Chris Jericho instead. And I think it's going to be a good match. These two are both good performers, a good mid-card. Not too much of a build here, but I still think it's going to be a good match nonetheless, knowing these two work ethic and how they perform in the ring. So I think it's overall going to be good.
Yeah, I think might be a little easier to predict because I think WWE kind of realizes they fucked up putting not putting AJ over at WrestleMania was Dean Ambrose. If you've kind of been following especially with the house shows, he's been getting a lot of like high-profile wins against Triple H. Like, I think not putting Dean over here, it's just kind of gonna diminish his babyface quality. Like, you need to have like a good number one babyface right now, especially because Roman's not that. We'll talk more about him later. I think that'll be something big with his character. But
right.
Dean's gonna get the win. Legend putting over young talent.
Yeah, I would really like to hope that as well, but again, knowing WWE's history, they could screw us very well, and they've done it in the past, and I don't see why they wouldn't do it here. But Sean and I are both pulling for Dean, I would say, so let's really hope for that. And it's going to be a good match, a nice little mid-card match there, leading us into Miz versus Cesaro.
I think this one's probably going to go in the way of Cesaro. Like, nobody really wants The Miz as champion right now. He's a good heel. Maurice just came back, and they have some good heel heat going on. That's the thing with Miz. Like, a lot of people say, oh, I don't like him as a wrestler, but I think they're just marks for his heel character. Like, because he's one of the best heels because he has, like, that legitimate heat that not a lot of people get. And Cesaro, he's coming back. Everyone wants him to get, like, the big push for the World Heavyweight Championship. And I think this will be a good way to say, hey, Cesaro's back, and he's ready for the push.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you that. I would like to see Cesaro, but you know what? I'd also really like to see The Miz, so I'm going to have to go ahead and pick The Miz over Cesaro here. I enjoy The Miz's character. I even enjoy his in-ring style a little bit. I think the thing why Miz gets a lot of hate is because they just booked him so terribly during his WrestleMania run with the WWE title. It was just so bad. Miz was not ready. The fans were not ready. WWE was not ready.
It was an excuse to get The Rock into WrestleMania.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, The Rock, what's asses in seats or whatever the fuck. Anyway, but I think it's going to be a really good idea, hopefully, to kind of build him as a shit heel, especially going in against Cesaro, because Cesaro is, like, super loved by, like, almost everybody. I really don't know that of anyone that, like, hates Cesaro, because
Vince McMahon.
Yeah, fucking grab the brass ring, Cesaro. But
wrestling club.
Yeah. So, speaking of which, the reason why Vince doesn't like Cesaro is because he's not, quote unquote, not good on the mic, which can easily be improved. Take notes, Roman Reigns. So I would really like to see a Miz victory here and kind of have a little feud between Miz and Cesaro in the months leading up to SummerSlam here. And I think that would be kind of cool. Have Cesaro chase a little bit, build Miz as this heel that, like, really everybody loves to hate, and he's, like, super cocky. I do movies now, and he's like, I've got this hot wife and you don't. And he's really a hateable heel, and that's why I like him. So I really hope Miz retains here, only to get it taken away by Cesaro in a month or two. So we'll see how that goes. Do you have anything else to say about this match, Sean? Welcome
back, Maurice.
Yeah, well, welcome back, Maurice. Which leads us into I almost said Ethan Carter, and I don't even watch TNA, for fuck's sake.
No one does.
TNA is in the dumpster. That's another topic for another day. But our next match here is going to be Enzo and Cass versus the Vaudevillains.
So my inner NXT mark is really happy for this match. Enzo and Cass is my favorite tag team right now. Right. Yeah, how you doing?
How you doing?
And Vaudevillains, like, I've only seen, like, a few of their matches because, like, they've kind of just existed in promos rather than matches for the past few months, and they've lost, like, the few matches they've had in NXT. But, like, they're good characters. Like, there's something, like, we don't really see nowadays with, like, the throwback manly style. I think it'll be a good tag team match. I think Enzo and Cass are going to get the victory because they're going to be perfect opponents for the New Day. The promos are going to be fantastic, and that's a feud I really want to see, so Enzo and Cass are going to go over here.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Sean on that point. I'm going to pick Enzo and Cass over the Vaudevillains. I think the Vaudevillains have a lot of talent, but they don't have that connection with the fans that or yet. They don't have that connection yet with the fans that Enzo and Cass do. And I think the Vaudevillains would really fit perfect into something like a brand split, which we can talk about later. Put them on SmackDown as like the SmackDown tag team and have Enzo and Cass and the New Day as the Raw tag team. But again, we can book the brand split later. But I would have to say that, honestly, Enzo and Cass are probably one of the most over tag teams since the Hardys and the Dudleys. Whenever you hear that Italian music, those fans just go, everybody goes wild. I remember when I went to go see the live taping of SmackDown, I jumped out of my seat. It was so cool. They're so good on the mic. Perfect for the New Day, I think, to get them both over. Very talented individuals, and I think it's going to be a good match because the Vaudevillains are pretty good workers, but Enzo and Cass are most definitely going to go over here.
And you can't teach that.
And you can't teach that. And as a last-minute thing here, WWE booked a Vince McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, Shane McMahon appearance to decide who is going to run Raw. That's the key word. So what I think about this is that I think Vince is going to swerve Stephanie. This is my personal opinion. I'd really like to see it happen. I'd like to see him swerve Stephanie and be like Shane's best for business. And then just like have Stephanie just like go wide-eyed and go batshit crazy like she does so well. And I've just seen Shane sit there and be like, yeah, I can run Raw now. And then Stephanie's just going batshit crazy. I think it's going to be a really good swerve. I think it'll bring a lot more viewers back to Raw because even though Vince McMahon's still going to be behind the scenes doing stuff, I think just having the new face of Shane McMahon and even some of his match decisions backstage are going to be really good. And I think we're going to see a lot of new talent. And I think Shane's going to put some good ideas into the head of Mr. McMahon. What do you think, Sean?
I think, well, this is going to be a great segment to watch because we don't like the McMahons, like, because they're heels, they're faces, like, nope, they're very like egomaniacal characters, but they're still great talkers. So I think at the very least we're gonna get a good segment. I think Vince is gonna say like kind of go in your direction. He's gonna say, Stephanie, you're not fit to run Raw. Yeah. Triple H comes out, and I think he's gonna ruin Shane's day. Like, no, you can't run Raw because we're the authority. God damn it! And I'm gonna bury you, pedigree. And I think that'll set up a feud with Triple H and Shane that could lead up to SummerSlam for control of Raw, and from there that's going to segue into like the brand split, which it's definitely going to happen. Like it's been talked about like for almost a year now, and talk has picked up more since Shane came back after Fastlane.
Yeah, so I really think that your prediction of Triple H coming back is really viable because we really haven't seen him on TV much since he lost to at WrestleMania. So
he's been on the house shows though.
Yeah, he's been on house shows, but we haven't seen him on live television. So having him come back and set up a feud with Shane McMahon by just like planting him in the mat with a pedigree, maybe even planting Vince with a pedigree, and having like a Triple H and Stephanie sort of feud going on with Vince and Shane will be super cool for control of Raw. I think Shane and Triple H could put on a really good match. I think we've seen a Shane Triple H match in the past. Yeah, they did a Hell in a Cell. There was a McMahon's versus DX, and Shane had a thing with Triple H there.
Yeah, everyone bled that match. That was brutal and fantastic.
Yeah, great match.
Only good part of DX06.
Yeah, true. It was a good match. But I think Shane and Triple H could have a good little feud leading. I say little a lot. Could have a good feud going up into SummerSlam, and I think it would be a good match before the main event. So I'm really looking
forward. Or even the main event,
like maybe have something crazy like a steel cage match or an I Quit match or something cool like that because Shane works really well in hardcore environments. So yes, and now we have our main event of
we got two more matches.
Oh, do we really?
Yeah, we got well, I know the Payback, like the card is very forgettable, but we got Baron Corbin and Ziggler to talk about.
Oh, you're right. Well, just kidding. Botchamania. So
you fucked up. You fucked up.
Now we're gonna go.
Fucked up.
I did fuck up. I fucked up really hard. Jesus. Okay, so
Super Dragon.
he's got a bicycle. Shout out to Botchamania. You guys are fucking awesome.
Subscribe to us, please.
Please. We need it. So yeah, now we're gonna talk about Baron Corbin and Dolph Ziggler, and we'll get right into that. This is like the 5th recording of this goddamn match. I hope you guys appreciate this. This is Baron Corbin versus Dolph Ziggler. We're not botching it this time. We're not Sin Cara. Sean, what do you think of this match?
I think Baron Corbin's going to go over here. I think we mentioned, like, Phil said, like, we botched, like, this recording a lot.
Like 8 fucking times.
Yeah. But Corbin's going to go over here. He's going off like a massive push right now. He won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, and I think they're gonna try to use that now to like push new talent. Like they kind of wasted it with Cesaro and Big Show, but like Corbin's got some good heel heat going on, because the thing with like being a heel in WWE nowadays, like you're either so like not connected with the audience that they just like nothing you, like Randy Orton was for quite a while. Or, like, you're so good at being a heel that the audience cheers you. Like, Kevin Owens, he's, like, the best heel in the business right now. But he gets cheered. And New Day, they were, like, so good at being heels, they got cheered. Now they're baby faces. But with Baron Corbin, like, people, like, legitimately hate him. I don't really get why they hate him. Like,
yeah, no, there's really no reason. He's a good talent.
He's good talent, especially for someone who isn't an indie darling, which is actually probably why everyone hates him. But for someone who's not an indie darling, he's a good worker. His style really complements his lone wolf, badass, strong persona. Like, the powerhouse offense. And Ziggler is going to bump like crazy for him. He's the best, like, he's one of the best workers in the business, and he's really good at, like, putting new talent over, unless their name is Tyler Breeze, of course.
LOL.
Yeah.
Rip Tyler Breeze's career.
Yeah. But, yeah, Ziggler will make Baron Corbin look strong as fuck. Yeah, Baron Corbin's going to go over.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to say Baron Corbin as well here over Ziggler. This feud has actually been really, really good. I think it's super underrated because WWE just kind of pushed it aside, but you have 2 really awesome talents here. Dolph Ziggler's really charismatic, has really been selling it like he really hates Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin has really been selling that he doesn't give a fuck and he's just a badass. I also think it's going to be good for Ziggler because he can get quote-unquote injured and take some time off of our TV screens to go home, get some rest, see his family. Because honestly, let's be real, he's been working like nonstop for the past couple of years.
Something like 400 matches in the past 5 years.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. That guy needs time off more than anybody. And when he comes back, we can really solidify him as like a mid-carder or possibly a heel going for the WWE Championship. It's really all is possible with Dolph Ziggler. But for God's sakes, Vince, just give this man some goddamn time off. All right, so our second to final match is going to be Natalya versus Charlotte for the WWE Women's Championship. So as I mentioned earlier, I was at the SmackDown tapings where they were building some heat with Charlotte and Ric Flair towards their match for Payback. And Ric Flair, as you've probably been hearing around, actually told Natalya to go kill herself in the heat of the moment. And yes, it actually did happen. I was there. I can confirm it. He said it loud and clear. She just straight up said, if you don't think this, then kill yourself. I was kind of like, I laughed at first. I felt bad. And I was like, wait, what? He just said that on a taping. Holy shit. It was kind of weird. But, yeah, Ric Flair was also detained later that day at the airport for being drunk.
For being Ric Flair.
For being Ric Flair, basically. He actually wasn't drunk. Taz said that some of these wrestlers just are talent, just are so tired from traveling that they look drunk, and that's all they do is they just go to the airport and travel. Vince, give them some goddamn time off. Anyway, back to Charlotte and Natalya. This isn't really too much to talk about other than being a really good women's match. There's not too much story here other than Bret Hart's going to be there. It's a family versus family sort of deal like we've seen in the past. And I'm going to pick Charlotte to go over here. I'd like to see Natalya go over, but I want to pick Charlotte because it would really solidify her as this Ric Flair type personality where I'm the best in the business at what I do. No one's taking this away from me, and I'm going to do whatever is possible to keep this championship on my arm. And I really think that's going to be the way it pans out. I don't know if Sean has any differing opinions about that, but what do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Charlotte's going to go over. Like, this is the first proper title defense for the new women's championship. It feels really good to say women's championship.
Yeah, it really does. Thank you, Vince.
Yeah, goodbye fucking Divas title. The
fucking
goddamn
butterfly.
Yeah. But I think Charlotte's going to go over here just like that, the first like proper title defense to establish herself as like the women's champion. Like people wanted Sasha Banks to like win at WrestleMania. I'm not upset with that result. I think Charlotte's a good championship. I think her character and her work with Ric Flair over the past few months is really good. I think Charlotte's gonna like dominate the women's division for the next few months, probably until Survivor Series. Actually, I would give her like quite a long run just to establish the women's title.
Right, she's really perfect for that.
Yeah, and like she had like a pretty long run with the Divas title before the official switch, and I think Sasha Banks is she's gonna lose to Sasha Banks eventually. Everyone wants that. That's gonna be a fantastic match when it happens. But I think Charlotte's going to have the belt for a little bit longer until that happens.
And before all of you butthurt marks go ahead and get butthurt about Sasha not winning the title, yes, Sasha is probably one of the most amazing women talents on the roster right now. She is super good. There is absolutely no doubt in anyone's mind about this. But to really solidify it as a title that people should care about, we need to keep it on Charlotte before we give it to the wrestling marks. But for right now, keep it on Charlotte. And then have her go into a really awesome feud with Sasha Banks, and then have that feel-good moment of Sasha Banks finally winning the title. And this match should lead us into our controversial main event of Roman, Reigns,
the guy with the massive pecs.
Roman, Reigns, the guy with the wettest hair, Roman. Anyway, this should lead us into our main event with Roman Reigns, the WWE Championship, defending his championship against the phenomenal AJ Styles. So as you guys know, I'm a very big fan of Bullet Club. I think they're an amazing heel faction, and it's going to be great to see them with the WWE in the coming years, and I hope they book them well. But I think, that being said, that they are going to interfere with the AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns match. Now, I would like to see, in my heart, with all my markiness, that AJ turns heel with the Bullet Club, attacks Reigns, destroys him, takes the WWE title. So I'm picking AJ. But there's a lot of things wrong with that. As Taz has mentioned, turning AJ Styles heel right now might not work because he's a super good babyface. But instead, why don't we turn the man with the most heat, Roman Reigns, heel? And Sean has something to say about that because he's been looking into Roman Reigns turning heel. So what do you think about Roman Reigns turning heel and this match?
I think they're going to finally capitalize on the heat Roman has. I think they're going to go as far as to make him the leader of Bullet Club. And I know like how unpopular that decision is, but hear me out. I talked earlier about how it's so hard to be like a genuine heel nowadays, and like only like a few guys like Baron Corbin and Miz have that kind of legitimate heat. But people absolutely hate Roman as a face.
Yeah, and I think that's what they're going to use to give him that push, and he can do the whole thing of like, who did this? I believe Hulk Hogan did this when he was the third man in the NWO. Is what he did was he insulted the fans, and he was like, you guys never supported me. Vince, it was like, whatever.
The great company of the North.
Yeah,
one of my favorite promos of all time.
Yeah, it's a great
something
promo.
Like that's gonna happen.
We'll do a top 5 promos in a bit, but you could really use this heat with Reigns and be like, You fans never supported me. I had to do this all on my own. When I won the Royal Rumble, none of you supported me. When I beat Triple H at WrestleMania, none of you supported me. But I solidified myself as the top man in the company, and none of you cared. So these are my brothers now. This is the Bullet Club, and we're here to take over the WWE. Blah, 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 blah. Please bring the Shield back for a Bullet Club Shield feud. I would love that. If like maybe even a new Shield, like have AJ Styles join Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. That's super hard to book, by the way. I hope that happens, though. I think this match honestly could be pretty good. AJ just makes anyone that he steps in the ring with look super good.
And Roman's not a bad wrestler
Yeah,
himself.
no, Roman's not a terrible wrestler.
His main events of like Meltzer gives his matches like 3.5 stars because he's not a bad worker. He's just not connected with the fans.
And he's booked terribly. As you said, he's not connected and he's booked terribly.
He's booked stronger than Cena. He has not had a clean singles loss since I think it was Leo Kruger who pinned him in NXT in 2012.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you go and look back at the match between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 30,
it's a good match.
It's a good match. Like, Roman sells Brock's like full on like straight to the head punches, and it just looks like it hurts, and Roman does a great job. Like, he like laughs it off and makes it look believable, and he's pretty good, but his booking right now is just awful, and that's why so many people hate him. So that
he's not connected with the fans in the slightest, and like that's like the most important thing in creating a babyface.
Not at all, and his mic skills need to be improved as well. Who gets up in front of the Raw after WrestleMania after winning the fucking WWE title and says, "Aw, come on"? Like, who the hell says that? Come on.
That's why I think that promo. Let me think. They're finally gonna turn Roman heel. Like, people wanted the heel turn to come at Fastlane. They wanted to come at Royal Rumble. They wanted to come at WrestleMania. I didn't think like a heel turn would work at those times because who's gonna be like the babyface then? Like, when like people didn't want Roman to win the title at WrestleMania 31 against Brock Lesnar, like they had an ace in the hole like to save the show with Seth Rollins coming in cashing in the Money in the Bank, but they didn't really have an out for WrestleMania 32, so they like went full steam ahead, had Roman win the main event here. But then, like, he kind of showed shades of becoming a tweener after
with the guy promo.
Yeah, with the guy promo, and I think they're gonna go full heel. Well, I read a thing like fairly recently, or like I think it was Brian Zane who said, or no, actually it was Adam Blampied.
Yep.
With
What
like
culture?
Yeah.
God bless you. What culture?
Yeah. He said like people wanted the John Cena heel turn, but people wanted it so much that you have to do something like people don't want. In Blampied's video, like he had John Cena ending the streak against Undertaker because no one wanted it, and having it end in like such a dirty fashion would be good heel heat for Cena. I think nobody wants Roman Reigns to continue being a face, but I think people would get like absolutely pissed off, borderline nuclear heat, if he was the leader of the Bullet Club, because everyone wants the leader of Bullet Club to be AJ Styles or
Finn Balor.
Finn Balor's gonna debut at Payback. I am calling it. He had like watch his match at NXT, the house show in Lowell, Massachusetts. Like they showed like clips of it on this Wednesday's NXT, and from the looks of it, it was a good match. But I think he's gonna come back. It's gonna be a swerve. Roman's behind the whole thing.
So yeah, realistically, we're looking at Roman becoming the leader of Bullet Club. In our hearts, AJ Styles would be prime, but again, there's so many things wrong with that. Finn Balor interfering would also be good as well. There's a lot to talk about there. But I think this pretty much sums it up for Payback. I think it's going to be a really unpredictable event.
The only bad thing that could happen is Roman wins, maybe with some assistance from Bullet Club, but then like none of the heat carries over. And I'm kind of worried WWE would go ahead and do that. It's not.
You know, as I say, anything can happen in the WWE. Vince can book everything terribly in the WWE. But
Battleground 2014, just to give you an example.
Yep. So that concludes our predictions for Payback 2016. I think it's going to be a good event overall. I think there's going to be some spectacular matches and possibly some spectacular swerves. So we're just going to have to find out on Sunday. And my name is Phil, and this is Sean. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you liked what you heard today, go ahead and hit that like button. Also, go ahead and subscribe if you want to hear more wrestling-related content. My Twitter will be in the description below.
As will mine. I plan to record some more videos with Phil in the very near future.
So yeah, we'll definitely go give Sean a follow as well. But as always, this was Phil Talks Wrestling, and make sure they stay down for the 3 count.
Bounds.